this week's show, Liberty football rolls to a 4-0 start to the season, and we introduce you to a big lineman who is made for the big stage.
Plus, Liberty Hoops has some new faces. We'll hear from one of them, and the ladies of LU turn in dominant performances. It all starts now on this Flames Central. The Liberty football team is off to such a hot start, we decided to give them the week off.
So nice of us.
But here at Flame Central, we take no days off.
Not
That's
a single
Matt's
one.
idea. I'm Emily. He's Matt. We're here to bring you up to date on all things Liberty.
Yeah, that's right. Women's soccer, women's field hockey crushing their competition, and it's never too early for little hoops talk. We'll hit the hardwood in just a moment.
Yeah, but we start on the gridiron, and we start with the trip down to Miami, Florida. Liberty got back to conference play against FIU. The Flames look to remain perfect on the season before heading into their bye week. Matt, don't blink in this one because the Flames don't waste any time getting on the board. Opening drive, Kaden Salter said, "Take a ride in my Bentley Hanshaw." 7-0 Liberty early. The Flames defense gets a quick 3-and-out, so back in the hands of Salter. He connects with Trayon Sibley. Catch me if you can. You can't. That's good for a 68-yard score. Matt, let's take it to the second quarter. Billy Cool Hand Lucas, I think that's what you call him.
It is.
But forget the hands. How about those legs? He sneaks into the end zone to give the Flames a 21-6 lead in the first half. The defense continues to get it done. FIU's Keon Jenkins throws it to the wrong guy, which happens to be Kobe Singleton for his second interception of the season. The team's 10th. Later in the third, FIU's Jenkins still under pressure. Fumbles the football. Kendi Charles, welcome back. He makes his scoop. Matt, will he score?
Big fella.
Just settle down. It's his first game back. Got to get the conditioning down. You know, great to see him back out there making plays. Salter scores 2 rushing touchdowns in the third. Let's call it a blowout at this point. He actually did that salt-based celebration that I told him to do after he scored.
It's all about you.
Love that. Whatever. Anyways, the Flames scorched the Panthers on their homecoming night. Final score 38-6. Coach Chadwell, what do you think of the game?
Well, I thought special teams and defense were tremendous for the whole fourth quarter. I think offensively we left some plays out there, obviously turned the ball over. But I was pleased overall with unbelievable effort. We came out here with a great mindset and really, took some crowd away from them right early. So I was pleased with that. But we're getting better each week. And if our defense will play like that and we clean up what we're doing offensively, we'll continue to get better and continue to march toward a Conference USA championship.
A 4-0 start to the Jamie Chadwell era, and in those 4 Liberty wins, the Flames' average margin of victory has been 21.5 points. They've been dominant. And on this week's Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage, we talked about exactly that. And the key to it all, according to Joe Yock, is what's happening in the trenches.
When you look at Liberty on both sides of football, okay, so you got their defensive front seven and their offensive from tackle to tight end, right? They are dominating within the box. And the way the offensive line is getting on their block. Dirk's got them getting on their blocks, and then they're chipping up to the second level, and they're finding the holes in between tackle to tackle. That's where I get fired up.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, you get fired up because it's like
that's a hashtag bottom line.
Dudes who are actually moving. They're moving. They're getting on a block, chipping to the second level. Guys are pulling, kicking out, creating space, and then the back, bam, they're hitting it right up the pipe, right? And so you're running the ball within tackle to tackle. You do that. Everything else, I'll put that thing on, right?
Okay, wow.
I just feel a little unsafe around
That's a hashtag bottom line.
Hashtag bottom line.
That is a hashtag bottom line.
And they're doing a really good job of winning on both sides of the football in the trenches. You do that, you're gonna have a tough time beating.
To hear more about the Flames' hot start, as well as a breakdown of what's happening around Conference USA, check out the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage. Emily, Joe, and I, we have a good old time. I think you will too. Find the podcast in all the usual podcast places or watch it on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel. Well, you just heard Joe talk about Liberty's success in the trenches. A guy that's playing a huge role in that success is Xavier Gadlin. But you see, Xavier's used to playing a role, whether on the gridiron or the stage. If there's an audience, you can bet this dude is putting on a show.
This is who we see on game day. But there's much more to offensive lineman Xavier Gadlin.
Now we can praise. Welcome and welcome you. Welcome. to see you. Live reste steve sagen willkommen, bienvenue, welcome. In cabaret, au cabaret, to cabaret.
Xavier Gallen, Arlington, Texas, Renaissance man. It definitely took some time to like cultivate it, but I've always been like an outgoing kid. I don't think I've ever been one to like be shy or quiet. Yeah, I was never quiet ever in my life. My dad used to call me Will Smith because I used to just yell all the time, like for no reason. Normal in-house conversation, I was just super duper loud. So that took a while to like tone down a bit, but yeah, I've always been outgoing.
But playing sports, he wouldn't have to tone it down. One of the many reasons his father would sign him up for football at a young age.
I mean, he played football. Everybody around him played football. It's kind of like what you do in Texas, to be honest with you. I started to develop a love for the game around middle school. I remember just becoming more of a vocal person, growing in my work ethic, and it really started to click like in high school as well.
Yet that wouldn't mean football would always take center stage. In high school, he would be a part of the band. And in college, as a Division I football player, he would discover a passion for theater.
TU, what's going on? It's your man Xavier Gallen here, sophomore football player, double major in history and education. Gotta make sure you hit them books, don't you?
I don't know why, but I don't think I realized I was a performer until I got to college. Everybody around me knew it.
Raise my hands, bow my head.
But like, it just didn't click for me until I got into this space and started doing it. It was like, I really like doing this.
What ho, apothecary? Who calls so loud?
And to little surprise, his personality and his characters would shine on stage.
Such mortal drugs I have, but Mantua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Nerves have kind of gone out of the window, to be honest. I think a lot of that comes in preparation. Once I know what I have to do, at that point, it's kind of like football. When the lights turn on, it doesn't become any different. It's just more people are looking at you.
Those bright lights would just be the beginning when it comes to similarities between his two passions.
It's the exact same. I don't think people understand it because it's not as physical. When you take away the physical demands of what football like asks of you, then it's the exact same. The preparation that comes into it, though it's not as physical, is definitely very demanding. It's not like there's no focus that's involved. It's not like there's no determination or accountability that's involved. Everybody else's performance also hinges on how well you do as well. So it fits exactly with football because if I don't do well in my position, it's hard for anybody else to succeed around me, especially as an offensive guy. So when it comes to theater, other people are depending on you to bring your best because that helps them bring their best.
Make it mean something when you say it now.
Xavier's learning that these experiences are helping him build stronger relationships and help him grow into a better leader.
I think the biggest thing that I am able to offer is perspective. I think me being involved in so much has allowed me to adapt myself into wherever I'm at.
And God, I ask you to be with us today as we walk throughout this battle. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Amen.
The other piece of leadership that people don't often talk about is just the idea that if you don't have a relationship with somebody, you can't help them.
I love y'all boys, man. Let's go rope and ride.
Because you don't know what motivates them, you don't know what they need, you don't know how they feel that day, and that's definitely something that I learned from theater.
Today, Xavier has put theater on hold as his focus is on his final football season with the Flames, with the hopes to play in the NFL one day. But having these two communities, a brotherhood in football,
If you don't believe it doesn't work,
and a family in theater, provides him comfort regardless of what the future holds.
It helps to know that even when I leave football or even when I leave theater, I always have a place where if I need something or need to be around somebody or some people, I have a place I can go.
But sometimes after a big win, he just can't help himself. Because as many of us know, Xavier Gadlin was meant for the spotlight. How How do you not love this guy? Xavier Gallen, he's actually really talented at all of his different hobbies, too. I know it was really difficult for him to set theater aside this semester, but you can see him directing the band after those victories. He's trying to stay as close to that community as possible.
Well, and also he has a legit shot to make the NFL.
Right.
So he's setting theater aside for now because his career could be a long one at the next level. A really cool kid and a great communicator. What a luxury it is to have somebody like that leading that offensive line room.
He's got to be fun in the locker room, too. All right, let's switch gears and head to the pitch. As you may know, women's soccer is dominating competition this year. Don't believe me, Matt? Well, for the second time this season, Liberty swept the Conference USA Weekly Awards. Matt, I'm just starting to think it's not even fair. Ava Goodman won Offensive Player of the Week honors, while Lena James highlighted the defensive side, and Ansley Leah is the Keeper of the Week. Anyway, here's a montage of all the goals the Lady Flames scored most recently against conference foe Sam Houston. I'll count for you. 1, 2, it's 6. One was even an own goal by the Cats. Goodman and Sadie Holland both found the back of the net twice. Rachel DeRuby even joined in on the fun. To top it off, Lehigh recorded her 5th straight shutout. Liberty hosts New Mexico State up next.
Well, if you're wanting a tighter game than what you just saw, Liberty Field Hockey was not going to give it to you. The number 9 ranked Flames at Longwood, and everyone would get involved in the fun. It was a scoring onslaught, not a bloodbath. It was an onslaught. 6 different players would score a goal for LU as they dominated from start to finish. Liberty wins it 7-1. It's the most goals in a game for LU in over a year as the win pushes their season record to 9-1. Coming up, Liberty basketball has a new look this season, and you're about to meet one of the key additions.
Plus, your favorite Canadian, Rhett McGibbon, joins the show to name his Athletes of the Week in Warm, Hot, and Fuego. That's when Flame Central returns.
At the fence, leaping! Wow! The 5 pylon, he's in.
Hey, welcome back to the show, and welcome back basketball. Sure, we're still over a month away from the Flames taking the court for their first game, but the team did take part in its first practice of the season on Monday. And while some veterans, like that guy, Kyle Rode, have been around the program for half a decade, the buzz around this team centers on some newcomers. Liberty dipped into the transfer portal for a couple of key additions. Guard Kaden Metheny, more on him in just a moment, transferred in from Bowling Green, while Xander Yates comes to LU from Creighton. And those two, along with 3 freshmen, make for a different look from years past. On top of that, the Flames head into their first season in Conference USA. So a lot changing for this program, but the expectation to continue winning at a high level remains the same.
Although a third of our team is new, I think it's a third, I do think we have enough experience to stay competitive. I like what I've seen out there. And the newness thing, like what is this, our third conference in 6 years? Yeah, I mean, there'll be a learning curve with different coaches and playing styles in the league. But we've been one that we've tried to challenge ourselves in our non-conference, and we try and focus on what we can control, and that's the process, the ownership of that process. And I think we got a pretty good group, and I'm anxious to see how we come together as a unit.
Let's stay on the topic of new. We produced a brand new segment here on Flame Central. It's called The Players Lounge. This week, we're getting to know newcomer Kaden Metheny. The host? Well, it's 2 of the best around, or the only 2 we could find. You can be the judge of that. Gabriel McKay and JC Schreier, take it away.
What's up, guys? This is the Player Lounge, and I'm with my teammate, Kaden Metheny. Would you like to introduce yourself? Start off.
My name's Kaden Metheny. I'm from Morgantown, West Virginia. Number 3.
I'll give him a better intro. This is Kaden Metheny, bucket getter, FIFA king.
Yeah, beats you all the time.
Great guy overall.
You want to keep going?
I think you should do like 2 more.
Sharp young man.
Intelligent, wise fellow.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, he's been graduated already. That's what I'm saying. He didn't even tell you that. He's done with college, but he's still here.
Master's.
Done.
He's getting a master's. He's just a great guy, bro.
He's a great guy.
I try.
He's locked up though, so please don't hit his line.
Yeah. Oh
You know
no.
what I'm saying? But he's the type of guy you'd let date your sister. You have a sister?
Mm-mm.
Oh, would you? Though?
So Kaden,
that's a good question. One guy on the team has to date your sister. You don't have one.
Yeah.
One guy on the team has to date your sister. Who are you choosing?
Caillou.
Wow.
Caillou. Okay. What?
I'm honestly a little hurt you didn't think about that a little more.
I think I'm a pretty good guy.
JC, no. Oh my
What?
God.
What?
You just disrespected me.
That's what I'm saying.
Wait, no, how?
You said you wouldn't let me.
No, I didn't answer.
That's
You just assumed.
exactly.
Wait, that's it. The
Assumption.
correct-
It's just an assumption. We're doing a lot of assuming here.
Kaden, can you just tell me a little bit about your game and your play style?
I like to go out there, get people involved, spread the ball.
That's unselfish.
Unselfish basketball, man. That's how I play.
It's funny, actually. Yesterday in practice, Kaden had an opportunity for a step-back jumper, which is a more difficult shot for the average player. And not for Kaden, no. Coach McKay was like, Kaden, you got to shoot those. Like, you're hurting us if you don't shoot those, right? And
What did I
Kaden's
say
like,
to him?
What did you? You were like, I'm just trying to move it.
Just trying to get others involved.
Yeah, exactly. But he's like, get others involved by hitting that shot first. A couple possessions later, I think I had the same opportunity for a step back.
What did he say to you?
He said, move that thing. Get off it. Get off the ball. That's not you.
If I tried to shoot a step back shot, I think I'd be back in Dallas with Priscilla. I don't think I'd be able to come back. So
No, I don't think you think it's, you wouldn't be able to.
yeah, I know I wouldn't be able to come back.
Kaden, if you had to give yourself one NBA player comp, who would it be?
I got to be careful on this.
No.
Why?
TJ McConnell.
Why? Why'd you say him?
Take it as you see it.
Kaden, thank you for joining us on the Players Lounge. Anything you want to add?
Looking forward to this year. Excited to get it started. We're about to do some great things.
I love that. What's great? What are we going to do great?
Just have to wait and see.
It's like a movie.
That's good. Yeah, get them on the edge of their seat. I like that. Kaden Metheny, ladies and gentlemen, number 3. You'll see him out there on the court. Number 3 on the court. Number 1 in your hearts.
A lot more players' lounges to come, and they are good, let me tell you. All right, hey, Rhett McGibbon's here. That can only mean one thing. Time for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Top player moment from Liberty over the past week. Rhett, you typically have a theme for us. Yes. What is it today?
You know, one near and dear to my heart. Yeah. National Coffee Day.
Let me tell you, you know how people say if only every day could be just like Christmas? Yes. Every day for me is National Coffee Day. I celebrate daily, so I'm fired up 100%. For this one. Yeah.
All right, I'll get to the coffee here in just a second, but warm this week. Hunter Verostek, what a save he made, third period against Minot State. Getting into this kind of like the goalie mindset, he's out challenging and how far he had to come back. And he made another save on top of that. The speed Buddy had and just a wraparound try.
Just watching.
I know, right? You can tell he's in the zone because goalies, you're taught never to turn your back to the play. And the fact that he stretched that right leg out there just to make this save, unbelievable. Got retweeted on social media, ton of views. Great save by him. Hunter Verostek's so good this year. He's just one of those guys. It's like the old faithful coffee you have up in the cabinet. You know it's always good. That is Hunter Verostek.
Maxwell House, good to the last drop, right?
There you go.
All right, from warm we go to hot.
Ava Goodman. Sometimes you need a little shot of espresso, right? Just to kind of like an Americano, just to get you going. Yeah. That's Ava Goodman.
Okay.
This year, 3-game winning goals out of her 4 goals on the year. Has had a tremendous sophomore campaign. And last week, 2-game winners. So good for her. She's getting the first win against Sam Houston, the first goal that was in that game. And then it's just been a timely score. And it's crazy to see her on the list. She's not top. Like a lot of teams, if you have 4 goals, you're up there in the top 2. She's not on this Liberty squad. Scoring by committee, a real potent offensive tack on all sides. It's been a lot of fun to watch her play. And then again, a sophomore. Her, along with Garner, like there's just so many quality younger talents on this team. You think, okay, they have a lot of really good seniors. They do, but they also have a class coming in that's just going to fill in their shoes. A lot of fun to watch.
This program is really coming into itself.
It really is.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. All right, finally, Rhett, in Fuego. Who do we have here?
All right. So in Fuego, it is the running attack of Liberty football, the ground attack. Now, the coffee here is that gold cappuccino you're getting to buy, you know, that 24-karat gold kind of coffee. You ever seen this?
I have seen it. I've never had it.
Oh, no.
Have you?
No. Okay, no, there goes my year's salary.
Come over to your house for coffee.
Exactly. I want to kind of crunch some numbers here for you, okay? Right. Second in the nation in running yards per game with 271. 10th in yards per carry, 5.99. Second in total rushing yards in the nation. Wow. Now, Navy is leading Liberty.
And they don't pass the ball.
Yeah, but hold on. Let me get into the little nitty-gritty details of this, all right? They have run the ball 252 times. Yeah. Liberty has run it 181.
Wow.
If you take that differential, multiply it by yards per carry Liberty has. I know. We're getting a little, you know, homeschooly action here for you, friends. That's 425 more yards. Woo! Liberty has the best rushing attack in the nation right now.
Unbelievable.
By the math.
That is great. Great stuff as always, Rhett. Best part of waking up, Rhett McGibbon on Warm, Hot, and Fuego. That's right. All right, still to come, we put Liberty football on the hot seat. And can anyone catch me in our Flames Fantasy League? You probably already know the answer. Come back and watch anyway. You're watching Flames Central.
So you're looking for a university that's perfect for you, a school that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study, and maybe a few more, just in case you change your mind.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right. A place with state-of-the-art facilities. I mean, look at this campus.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
And great recreational activities.
Okay, now we're on a roll. Somewhere you can hike, slide, strike, shoot, climb, eat, and most importantly, eat. You want a place that takes you to space? Okay, maybe not, but we can teach you how to fly, or pastor a church, or run a business. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
You might have heard some things about Liberty University, like how we're just a little Christian school in the middle of nowhere. And there's nothing to do here. I mean, come on. You know us. Boring.
Boring?
Yeah. They say we don't work as hard, think as hard, try as hard.
I object.
The truth is, well, we might surprise you.
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
Welcome back to Flame Central. You know, it's been a hot minute since we put the football guys on the hot seat. There's questions out there that we need answers to, Matt.
Yeah, you better believe this next question is way out there. So buckle up because these answers are about to take you out of this world.
Teammate or coach that I would go to outer space with would probably be...
I'm going to probably have to pick...
I'd have to say Coach Chadwell. Coach Chadwell would be pretty interesting.
Probably Newland Isaac.
He's a big Star Wars guy, so I think we can navigate the outer space pretty good with him on board.
He would panic, and when he couldn't take it anymore, I'd get all of his oxygen.
I feel like I'd love to go to outer space with Jerome Jolly.
Brandon Schlittler. I know he gonna know what to do. Wherever we at, he gonna know what to do. He know exactly what to do.
If I were to go to outer space with a teammate, I would choose Zach Burnett.
Nate Hampton.
Nate Hampton.
He's got a calming presence about him that would keep me chill throughout the tragedy that we're going through.
He flies planes and stuff. He's very adventurous for me, so probably Nate Hampton.
I think that Chase Mitchell would make it interesting.
I would say Earl just because he's so nonchalant.
Quinn Reese or Jalen Jemerson.
He's just out there anyway, so probably Earl.
Rashawn Williams.
Because those are my dogs.
He's the smallest, so we're going to have more space.
Maybe X. He have great leadership skills.
Everybody stays within the spacecraft.
Let's just not die. let's just get to space and live.
Savage answer from Coach Chadwell, stealing the oxygen of Coach Isaac.
Yeah, he is ruthless. Well, hey, listen, our time is almost up, but we would never end the show without giving you the much anticipated update on our Flames Fantasy League.
I'm just going to cut to the chase. If you're wondering if Matt is still in the lead, you're right. Somehow the guy who tallies up all the points each week is winning.
I'm the only one that can do simple math of the three of us, so it has to be
That
me.
is actually pretty true. Not going to lie, not a great week for me, Matt, unfortunately.
I did pretty well. Yeah, I did pretty
know.
well. Tyron Dupree is the leading scorer in the entire Flames Fantasy League.
Good to see that Joe Yock showed up, though.
Yeah, that's right, finally. All right, hey, for any stories you might have missed, libertyflamecentral.com, check it out.
And check out the Flame Central podcast. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll see you right back here next week.